Welcome to RGBtv. Today we've got for you our review of Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. Andy, what do you think about the movie?
So I went into the movie with low expectations, mostly because I was disappointed by Man of Steel, but I was actually pleasantly surprised watching the movie. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. I already had an idea of what to expect after having seen Man of Steel. And not only that, but the inclusion of Batman, the inclusion of, more characters to the universe, Lex Luthor, Wonder Woman. I think it made for a more entertaining film overall. They're fleshing out the universe a bit more. The Batman character, I think, was probably the best part of the movie. How about you, Jonathan?
I liked it. I had a great time watching it. Everything was... The visuals, the fight scenes, and the characters, it was all great to me. I enjoyed it. I'm probably gonna get called the fanboy, but that's just me. I really enjoyed it. But I also, unlike you, I enjoyed Man of Steel. I think Ben Affleck nailed it as Batman. He was not only a good Bruce Wayne, with the whole, going to fancy parties and waking up next to a supermodel type of thing, but he was also a great
That's pretty easy
Batman.
part to nail.
Well, if you have the physique of Ben Affleck,
there you go.
And that chin.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. I think Batman was probably my favorite part of the whole movie, honestly. With the side note that Batman kills in this movie.
Spoilers.
Well, obviously, yeah. I mean, this is a spoiler review here.
This is your official warning.
Batman kills.
Batman kills.
And I don't know how I felt about that. I mean, that's like Batman's number one rule is that he never kills. He never kills and he never uses guns. And in this movie he does both. And he pretty much just every thug that comes into contact with Batman probably ends up dead. I mean, I loved the look of Batman. I loved the Batmobile. I loved the voice changer effect that they added to
awesome.
To his actual voice, how his suit had a little voice changer on it. The look of all of it was amazing. It was fantastic. Probably the best looking Batman so far. But he killed people, and it's I don't know. That was my one flaw with the Batman character himself, is that I don't know why they took it to that level. I don't think that was necessary, and I feel like it's not the Batman that most people know and love. Batman's introduction scene. It was a very scary
suspenseful and scary.
Yeah, they actually made Batman seem terrifying, which is how he should be to criminals. Batman is genuinely a terrifying character.
Yep.
And I felt that whole build-up to his reveal was perfect, but at the same time, it kind of let the wind out of its sails from the moment when it actually pans the camera, and you just see Batman in the corner.
Pulling a Spider-Man.
Pulling a Spider-Man. Huge, hulking Ben Affleck, 250 pounds of man, just on the corner in the most obvious spot on Earth, and somehow she doesn't see him. So I literally had to hold back laughter on that part. What did you think of Wonder Woman's inclusion?
I liked it. I like that they didn't delve too much into her story because her story is coming out soon. I like that she finally revealed herself at the end. There was great teamwork, I think, in the final battle, and Wonder Woman did contribute a lot to that. She's a great choice for Wonder Woman, I think. She totally fits the bill.
I forget her name. What's her name? Gal Gadot? Gal Gadot or Gadot? Gadot?
I think it's Gadot.
Is it Gal or Gal?
However you pronounce her name.
Gal, I love Gal Gadot. And Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck was great.
Ben on fleek.
Ben on fleek.
I think she looks the part, but at the same time, I feel like they kind of wasted her in this movie. I mean, she didn't really do anything in the movie. She kind of messed with Batman, and he put up that little hacking device trying to get some files from Lex. Mm-hmm. She stole it from him. And, I mean, that's pretty much the extent of what she did in the movie. That and appearing at the very end.
One of the more controversial parts of the movie was the casting of Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. What did you think of his performance?
I actually really enjoyed Jesse Eisenberg's performance. A lot of people seem to have hated it for some reason.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
But it's a very eccentric take on the Lex Luthor character, but I enjoyed it, actually. I thought it was pretty funny. There was a lot of humor through his character.
He had a lot of great moments. So Jolly Rancher.
Yeah, the Jolly Rancher scene was ridiculous. Oh my gosh! I could have done with a little less talking about God and man and the devil and God and the devil, and if God won't do it, then the devil will do it, and if man won't do it, then God will do it, and
And if God won't do it, and the devil won't do it, and man won't do it, then who the hell does it?
Exactly.
First of all, I want to start by saying that he is the best portrayal of Lex Luthor in film. I'm going to get a lot of hate for saying that.
Okay.
Gene Hackman, in the original Christopher Reeves, his Lex Luthor was pretty good, and so was Kevin Spacey's Lex Luthor. But what are those Lex Luthor's master plan? Real estate. They want to control land. What a villainous plot. They're going to control land even if it's, illegal the way they do it. That's not what Lex Luthor's all about. Lex Luthor in the comics, in the Justice League cartoons, in the Superman animated show, he always saw himself as the good guy protecting the Earth from Superman because Superman is dangerous. That's what he's doing in this movie. He thinks that Superman is dangerous. He tries to stop him by getting the approval of the senator in order to create a kryptonite weaponry against them.
You mean Elastigirl?
Elastigirl.
Elastigirl, you know what I mean?
She wasn't up for it, so he took it upon himself illegally to try and save the planet. According to him, he is a little crazy. You can see his little bouts of insanity, but he thinks he's doing good. He thinks he's ridding the world of a huge menace, Superman, and he's gonna do whatever it takes, be it legal or illegal. And I think that's the Lex Luthor character. That's how he should have been done. He's a little more eccentric, but I think Jesse Eisenberg was awesome as Lex Luthor.
So what did you think of Granny's peach tea?
Granny's peach tea, man. That scene, Lex Luthor is ruthless. Ooh, he is cruel.
That scene completely caught me off guard. Yep. I literally gasped in the movie theater when the wheelchair just exploded. Yeah. I was like, for some reason, I did not see it coming at all. I did not see it coming. I was expecting to see like a whole scene of Superman, in court. I was actually kind of looking forward to it. And I mean, there was a short moment where he was in there, but it ended very abruptly, you could say. Another point. Lois Lane. I felt like she is still kind of pointless. She was pointless in Man of Steel, and she continues to be pointless in this movie. But I feel like her romance with Clark still kind of feels not set up. In Man of Steel, it felt underdeveloped. And in this movie, it's still underdeveloped because they skip ahead. However long of a period of time they skip ahead, it's got to be at least
18 months according to the movie.
Oh, right. It says 18 months. You're right. And not only that, but they tried to retcon a lot of her teleportation powers because apparently Lois Lane has teleportation powers. At least in Man of Steel she did. She would appear wherever she needed to be. And in this movie, I remember there was a small line in there where at the end in the final fight, which we'll get to, but in the final fight, she says something like, I need to get to so-and-so place, wherever they're fighting. And she tells Lawrence Fishburne's character, what's his name?
Perry White.
She tells Perry White that, she needs a helicopter. And they get her a helicopter so that, at least now we know how she got there. She got there by helicopter.
You see, it's the plot copter. It takes her wherever she needs to be in the movie. What all the fans were looking forward to, the big fight between Batman and Superman, hands down one of the best set pieces in the movie. What leads to the fight is Lex Luthor kind of behind the scenes manipulating, kidnapping Superman's mom, and threatening... you don't know where she is, I don't know where she is, but what I can tell you is she will die if you don't go and kill Batman. I do like that once he got there, he wanted to reason with Batman and ask for his help, but Batman was kind of like, I don't want to hear it, you're gonna die.
Batman had set up all these traps to stop Superman at first, and he kind of like lured him into walking into the traps. He kind of backed away on the rooftop, and first there were like these sound waves or something to try to hold him down. And, there was some turrets next, and Superman just destroyed everything, and eventually, he finally hits him with the kryptonite gas grenade. Yeah. And from there, there's a pretty epic fight. Although I will say, towards the end of the fight, when Batman is pulling a Mario 64 on Superman...
So long, Big Bowser!
I actually... kind of felt like this ugly feeling inside. I thought I wanted to see them fight, and it was awesome seeing them fight. But at the same time, it's like, they shouldn't be fighting. It's like, I felt kind of bad for Superman.
I did feel bad for Superman, and it's not that, like, they're good guys, they shouldn't be fighting. I wasn't thinking that. I was thinking, like, Batman, please, Martha's gonna die. You can't do this.
What do you think of the fact that if Batman and Superman's moms both didn't share the name Martha, Superman would be dead? There would be no Justice League because Batman would have killed Superman. Not to mention that from one moment to the next, they're like, we're best friends now.
Why did you mention Martha? She's my mom. Best friends. When Batman actually rescues his mom, that scene was amazing too. Cracking bones.
Yeah.
Smashing heads against the floor, stabbing shoulders. What a fight scene. Lex Luthor had a backup plan. And that backup plan was Doomsday. What did you think of Doomsday?
He was alright. I mean, all these superhero movies always seem to have some giant CGI monster at the end for the heroes to fight. He was just another one. I mean, he was alright. I thought the fight scene was cool. He looked kind of gross, and, you know, he kept on evolving as the fight went on.
He progressively looked a little better, a little closer to the comic book Doomsday.
Yeah, but, I mean, it was a cool fight scene. I thought it was a cool fight scene at the end, even though I will say there was a point in that final fight where, in one of the many times where Doomsday exploded into a ball of lightning and electricity or whatever, where the music was just so loud, and the scenery was just so bright and flashing that I literally had to stop and go, oh my god, I can't hear myself think right now from how loud everything is.
A lot of the complaints about Doomsday, I don't really understand. A lot of people are saying that there was no character development for Doomsday. Doomsday is literally a creature created to destroy Superman. He doesn't speak, he doesn't think or reason. He is created for one purpose and one purpose only, and that's to destroy Superman. A character like that, it needs no development.
Also in the movie, there was a lot of world-building scenes added. Specifically a few, I can say.
The laptop scene would be the biggest one.
The laptop scene. What did you think of the little video files of all the other members of the future Justice League?
A lot of people would say that would be shoehorned in.
I do think it kind of was shoehorned in.
I can see why people say that it was shoehorned in, but I loved it. I really enjoyed it. It was like a fanboy's dream come true, just getting a glimpse of the other members of the Justice League. I enjoyed the Flash scene. I enjoyed the Cyborg scene. The Aquaman scene was super awkward. He's supposed to be a creature or a being that can breathe underwater, and he is obviously holding his
seriously
breath.
It looked
and he's just floating there awkwardly staring at it. What is this technology I'm seeing?
There's also the dream sequence that Batman has, where it cuts so abruptly that when I was sitting there in the theater, I honestly thought for a split second that something messed up with the projector and that we jumped ahead in the movie, like 30 or 40, like all the way to the end. How about you, Brian? You got any thoughts you wanted to add?
Yeah, I guess my 2 cents would be that I'm glad that Zack Snyder managed to satisfy both fan bases, in the sense that he made it, or at least he showed that if Batman is unprepared, he's going to lose in a fight. And if Superman isn't, or I'm sorry, if Batman is prepared, then he's going to win in the fight. So in that sense, he kind of appealed to both fan bases, and I like that he did that.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
I'll agree with you there.
But then you forget that Batman is Batman, so he will win.
He always knows, that's the thing. He's going to win. Also, I do wish that the movie would have ended with Superman actually dying, and not end on that tiny little clip showing the dirt rising up. Like, obviously, Superman isn't dead, and obviously in the next movie, there's a Justice League movie that's coming out and everything, and obviously Superman's going to be in it. But for this film, I just wish he would have had the guts to actually keep him dead. I don't know, I just thought that would have been cool if he did that.
You said you had, like, a theory during the movie. You turned to me and you said, oh, this totally ruined my theory. You said you had a theory about the Flash?
Yeah, exactly. With that scene, if they would have killed Superman, that would have been cool if that one moment when the Flash is, you know, talking to Batman, I guess he went back in time to talk to him. But that would have been cool if he's trying to go back in time to somehow prevent Superman's death in this movie. Yeah. And then that would have been, you know, the continuation of the story in the next Justice League or whatever they end up doing.
I agree. That would have actually been pretty cool.
He needs to go back.
Pretty much. Doc Flash.
Reference?
Doc Flash.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Lost. We need to go back.
Well, that too. We have to go back.
We have to go back.
just to round off everything, I had a good time seeing it. I think the storytelling was a little messy during the first act of the movie, but it all connected well. The visuals were great, the battles were great, the characters, I enjoyed all the characters mostly. They were pretty well developed, and I think it's a good addition to the DC cinematic universe, and I look forward to seeing the next one.
I thought it was a good movie if you go in with lowered expectations, in my personal opinion. It's because I already kind of knew what to expect going into this one. Having seen Man of Steel, I already knew the type of movie to expect. I feel there were so many characters that it's very hard to develop them all into well fleshed out characters, but just on a visual sense and as a popcorn movie, you know, just as a blockbuster, I think it's an enjoyable film, and it's good on that level. That's what I would say.
I would give it 4 out of 5 batarangs.
I'd say I'd give it a good 6 out of 10 lassos of truth. Alright guys, so these have been our thoughts on Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice, and hit us back with your thoughts on the movie, and you know, if you agree with us, if you disagree, you can let us know.
Yeah, don't forget to like, leave a comment, subscribe,